Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And, of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. We are off to Chiang Mai for today's daily challenge where we will only have road tiles and all of our destinations are much busier. Game. All right, we do start with 3 and, nice solid 3 road tiles, which is nice. It occurs to me as we jump in here that I completely forgot that I was going to grab the application audio from Mini Motorways. So, hold please. Hold on. Game. Oh. I have that. Why are you not? Game. Or not even game, OBS. OBS, why are you not? Okay, so this application audio feature in OBS just doesn't work. Okay. All right. Well, we've learned a thing today. And the thing is that sometimes program, even, open source publicly run programs like OBS, not publicly run. OBS Studio is not funded by the government, thankfully. Anyway, OBS is not publicly run. It is, however, open source, which is what I was trying to say. Even open source programs occasionally have garbo crap nonsense, such as, yeah, we'll put this feature out, even though it doesn't work. So, that's nice. That's good to know. We're going to try to incorporate these yellows and greens onto the same road so as to share a bridge and save a bridge, which is a good and important thing to do. Oh, God. Let's see here. How can I do this, actually? Because I think if you're hearing game sounds at all, it's because they're coming out of my computer speakers and into... Okay, so what I have to do... Hold on. I know what I have to do. What I have to do is come back in here into my Wavelink software. And I have to add the game sound of Mini Motorways to the Wavelink software. Then we have to wait for there to actually be a sound in Mini Motorways to see if that worked. Which may or may not be the case. Oh! There you go. That sounded like it made a sound. That definitely made a sound. Okay. It's fine. We've only done... I'm going to ballpark it at 790 of these. Let me open gimmimimim.txt. We've done 794 of these. 794 episodes of Good Morning Mini Motorways. To say nothing of all of the other streams and nonsense piles. Nonsense piles are code and phrases for other videos, including a goofing around with friends in Overwatch video, which I had not made in several years because it had been several years since I goofed around with friends in Overwatch. But a teaser for upcoming thing that will be on the channel as soon as I get around to uploading it, because I just finished it yesterday. There will be a goofing around with friends in Overwatch video soonish. That sounds fair. Soonish. All right, we got a bit of a problem situation, nonsense pile going on here. And I think actually, I was going to say that we should probably split these bridges and actually just use 2 bridges going over here because, for as much as this Central Square Island is an issue, it's not like there are going to be other major bodies of water. I don't know. I don't like what's going on here with these. I'm not a fan of really anything that's happening, to be perfectly honest with you. Let's put this over to here. We'll run this purple road down there. These yellows are going to swing over this way, which is going to put even more. Okay. All right. Yeah, if we're going to do that, then... Okay. Let's do this. These yellows will go over here. That'll be fine. I can't really get this clump of yellows to go through here without having them intersect with the front door to this business. So that's a problem. We're going to take these purples here, give them a very big, long, and stupid bridge. It's going to go over this way. Could I? No, I cannot do that without going over the water. If the map expands and I can reclaim that bridge, I will intend to. But for now, that's kind of all we've got. Also, with this being a circle, we're going to need more yellow for it. So I may actually want to give a little bit more wiggle room over here. Yeah, let's grab that. Also, let's redraw this bridge for a third time. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Good God. This is just ugly. All right, you come here. Grab all of these and zoop like that. That seems truly horrendous, but it does at least get more yellows onto the road going over this way, which I believe was part of the point. Part of the point, not the entire point, but, you know, the entire point is like a 100-ish minute movie, is animated and for children, and we don't have that much time. We have a scant, actually, I don't have to be anywhere until 11, so we theoretically have time for me to screen the entire children's animated movie, The Point, for you here on today's episode of Good Morning Mini Motorways. I shan't be doing that. Want to thank Hulkamat. Hulkamat was here first. Could not be here for the proper intro because he was off to work. Because school children, everyone knows that high school aged children have infinite boundless energy at 6:32 in the morning, which is why all of your high school classes start at 6:32 in the morning. Oh, God. I'm sure that's a system that made sense to someone when it was put in place, and like many things in this world, was just kind of left there long past the point at which it became tenable. But hey, we don't care about tenable. I think that should be patently obvious by now. It should also be patently obvious by now that I can indeed reclaim this bridge, so I should do that. We have such a limited number of them, after all. So we're just going to go up here with this road. We'll do that. I'll toss that away. This bridge will be gone. This purple road will still be fine. We're never going to get a roundabout. So if we're going to fix this, and when I say this, I just mean gestures vaguely at everything. If it's going to get fixed, it's going to have to get fixed now, with the assets we have to hand. Man, you put it that way and it feels real bad. All right, let's see here. So I've got these yellows and greens right here. The problem is, yeah, there's no actual great way to get these out of here as a unit. I can pull the three of these, this 1, 2, 3, have them all point to this square, and then go somewhere. But doing that wouldn't really avail me of anything. So it seems kind of pointless. I have a whole bunch of greens and yellows right here. Man. Like, this is just an absolute nightmare section, but maybe the thing to do is reduce the number of... it's entirely possible that the way this is built, it's already doomed, but maybe there's a way to reduce the number of houses loading onto this road. Like, if we do that, that pulls 5 driveways away from the road. And yes, individually, each one of these is a little less efficient. Right? Like, if you look at these houses individually, it's maximally efficient for them to point in the direction they're going as close to their ultimate destination as possible. However, my hypothesis, and this, listen, friends, this is truly a hypothesis. My hypothesis is if we have them all spawn on the same place and then have a major transit road, basically, like that transit is still going to have a couple of squares, maybe just this one square, where they have to cross over driveways. But if they all spawn here and then get out to this road, once they're on this road, it's full speed ahead. It's full speed ahead until they get to this destination. And once they get to this destination, the traffic is flowing quickly enough that it doesn't hurt them as much. I have literally no idea whether or not that's going to actually work, but it sounded decent until this business died. So, 330 commuters over 33 days is bad, right? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and call that bad. On the other hand, well, I mean, our good friends Fishingworth and Samurai Sam did twice as well as I did, but neither of them could crack 1,000, so it's a tricky one. You go into Chiang Mai with 3 bridges and a prayer, you're going to have a bad time, apparently. It's a reasonable thing to say. All right. Let us bring in our very good friend, the Wordle. Hello, Wordle. What is the Wordle today? The Wordle today is chain. Man, as is always the case, I saw 2 green letters and had the beautiful brief thought of, hey, what if? I think the only time I ever got the Wordle in one was when it was final on the Monday after Final Subathon 7, which was very fun. That was a good day. The Wordle today is chimp, obviously. You know, Bippy, he was an average chimp. No one understood. What in the fuck is... Hold on. Oh, it's got to be chirp. All right, I looked at that for a moment and couldn't see what the game wanted from me. But no, it was chirp. The Wordle was chirp. Good job, Goog. All right. Away goes the don't tell me the answer text, because if you know the answer, by all means tell me. I am not above cheating in Time Guesser. Frankly, I'm not above cheating in most things, but certainly not above cheating in Time Guesser. All right, so we got some dudes in camo, but I'm going to guess that this isn't terribly serious camo. This appears to be recreational camo. Recreational camo, by the way, title of the episode. Not a good thing for a person to wear. If you as a person are wearing recreational camo, you may need to reevaluate some life choices. That having been said, these guys appear to be wearing recreational camo. I'm very concerned. I'm very interested in the decision-making path. Like, okay, for like a weekend warrior or a cosplay dude, a dude who's like, oh, look at me, I'm an army man. I understand, the tan t-shirt and simple running shoes and, roll your cuffs up or something. I really don't understand the thought process that leads to, oh, okay, upon further examination, this individual arrived to this activity, whatever they are doing, wearing a red t-shirt, flip-flops, and pink I Heart NY shorts, and then was given the helmet, the backpack, and the vest, and the canteen pouch, and all of that nonsense. This guy is wearing a tan t-shirt and cargo. Okay. I understand a little bit more. Only a little bit, though. All right, so what are we doing here, guys? It looks like y'all are pointing, like, actual looking weaponry at shit. Why is a person wearing what appears on further examination to be a polo shirt? Why is a person wearing a polo shirt and pink I Heart NY shorts in charge of a sniper rifle? That doesn't... Okay. That doesn't seem like a great idea. Alright. Trying to read. So this is AA1 Y20. This says USA. Alright. I was trying to see if that was just... like a manufacturer's label or anything. Man, if I was a person who recognized valleys, this would be really easy for me. And I'm not. This could be Ukraine, maybe? I don't... These guys are not wearing anything I can spot as identifying marks other than just looking exceedingly American on account of all the camo and the weaponry and the ridiculous pink I Heart NY shorts. Like, this dude very much does not look to be a trained, battle-ready, military operative type soldier. And yet, here he is on a hillside pointing a sniper rifle at some fuckers. I just assumed that there are fuckers on the other end of this sniper rifle, and he's examining potentially lethal intent and all that. I could be wrong about that. Perhaps these gentlemen aren't terrorizing what appears to be a tiny Ukrainian village. All right, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark and say that this is Eastern Ukraine 2025. I could be wholly and completely wrong about that. This could be California. This could be a training exercise in the San Fernando Valley, for all I know. I'm not certain of anything. We're gonna say that these fuckers here are just outside Uralo-Kavkaz in Ukraine, protecting it from the invasion of the Donetsky Russians. There. That is our official guess. There have been worse ideas. Okay. So this dude was asleep and threw on his flip-flops and ran out here to point a sniper rifle at some dudes. Okay, fine. All right. Whatever. That was Afghanistan. This is... Oh, God. This is the Selvbestimal Sestret. Selvbestimal Sestret for Czechoslovakia. Pretty sure that that's whatever language these guys are speaking for Czechoslovakia. Got it. The Soviets had better Folklorretten. And I think that one speaks for itself. Mostly because I don't know what it means. All right. So we're doing a sit-in protest, presumably in support of the good folk of Czechoslovakia, which is nice. I don't think this is in Czechoslovakia, but it might be, near there. Part of the reason it can't be in Czechoslovakia is that Czechoslovakia does not exist anymore. But, there's a Czech Republic and a Slovakia. Oh, God. What do we have here? So this is something C. Brandt. Okay. And this is the Tio Lavino, which, okay. That's an American flag. Why the fuck are we? I just assumed that we were in Russia. I was going to toss a pin in Moscow and say, hey, you're selling furs at your C. Brandt store. This is... Nope, there are letters on that clock. Okay. There are letters on that clock, and they do not form like an English word that could be a brand name or something. So, why would there be an American flag there, though? I guess theoretically that could be the American embassy. I think this is also an American flag. If I had to guess, it's just a little wrapped around its pole, but like this little dark bit up here would be the field of stars, and then you got stripes. It could also be a Union Jack, indicating that this is the flag of the United Kingdom, which would make this, I don't know, they wouldn't put multiple embassies in the same building, would they? It seems like the kind of thing that the United States would do to any of several smaller African nations that it doesn't properly respect, because, you know, the United States. So this is a Kodak building, just Kodak film. Okay. That says something. There's a lot of English lettering for a country that I think is Russia. Like, I'm not seeing any... Well, it's probably not Russia then, Goog. It's probably closer to where Czechoslovakia would be, which is right about here. I think I'm drawing a circle which incorporates the modern-day Czech Republic. So, maybe... Oh, Czechia. It's not the Czech Republic anymore. It's a very specific point in time where you can be wrong and call it the Czech Republic. It is Czechia now. Oh, let's see here. Well, hell, dude, let's just stick a pin in Prague, I guess. Maybe it is in what would have then been people protesting to be allowed to be called the Czech Republic. Sure. Let's go with that. Let's say that it's close-ish to the fall of the Soviet Union, so we'll say 1984. Could be, I'm horrendously wrong. This is in Norway. Okay, so they invaded Czechoslovakia. It wasn't popular. People were mad. Got it. All right, so this is the start of the 11th Belgrade some dudes on foot's road running race, probably a marathon. Just, you know, because this is an awful lot of people for a dudes on foot's road running race that isn't a marathon. I don't know, maybe it's a 10K or something, but all right. So if I was a person who knew marathon timelines, I could tell you when the Belgrade Marathon started. And I could say that, you know, well, the first one was run in 1981, so the 11th you would think would be in 1991. However, there was, of course, the 2-year stoppage from 1988 to 1989 on account of the poison gas explosion in Belgrade. So this would be 1993. And I don't know any of that to be true, but yeah, I'm willing to say this is 1993. You know, because the Belgrade Marathon was first run in 1981, and then there was the 2-year stoppage on account of the poison gas explosion. But rest in peace to all of the fictional made-up people who died in an imaginary poison gas explosion in Belgrade, which, man, Belgrade sure is a city I've heard of. It's in Austria, isn't it? I think Belgrade's in Austria. My lack of certainty is not helping my chances here, but, well, let's see here. Vienna's in Austria. Belgrade appears to not be. So, aha! I got lucky and found it on the map. Hi there, Serbia. All right, let's stick a pin in Belgrade. I don't suppose there are any... No, I'm not going to go looking for street signs in Belgrade. Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be reasonable here. All right, so this is 1993 in Belgrade, yeah? It's 1998 in Belgrade. Apparently it was a 7-year stoppage on account of the poison gas explosion. Oh, God. I'm terrible. Next. Next. We have no H-bombs. Not even yes. Okay. Good. We deserve... I mean, that's a harsh and probably not entirely accurate thing to say. Let's see. Britain must ban the H-bomb. That seems like a good idea. We generally should not have that sort of thing. But, okay. All right. So these appear to be some Brits who are really upset with possibly the recent bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki on account of... is that saying ban Truman or just touting an unrelated band performance by Ben Truman? It could be touting an unrelated band performance by Ben Truman. You know, Ben Truman and the FDR replacing 5? No? Okay. I understand. Oh, yeah. All right. So this is Jolly London Town. Specifically, presumably this is the Parliament building. I don't know. It vaguely looks like something I saw blow up in V for Vendetta. So yeah, we're going to say that that's Parliament. This is how you learn British geography, by the way. You just watch V for Vendetta a few times. And listen, V for Vendetta is a wonderful movie. It's a ton of fun. It's got good, snappy dialogue. It's got Natalie Portman acting her Natalie Portman ass off. And also... God, that was loud. Didn't expect that to be that loud. Should turn those sound drops down. Anyway... let's find the Houses of Parliament here. Oh, yeah, and also a guy in a silly mask blows up Parliament. And by calling him a guy in a silly mask, I have now infuriated people who love V for Vendetta just a little bit too much. Because listen, there are people in this world who love the movie V for Vendetta just a little bit too much. There are people in this world who get very mad when you think of the movie V for Vendetta as the movie V for Vendetta, because, you know, it was a comic book first. Or perhaps a graphic novel? I don't know, man. Oh, let's see here. London, where do you put your Parliament? I know where you put your king and whatnot, but where's the Parliament building? Presumably it's somewhere near here, right? Like, it's clearly in Jolly London Town. We don't have any obvious... Huh. Interesting. All right. I'm not going to toss a pin at Buckingham Palace, because I know that to be wrong. But I'm not going to try to find Downing Street, because I know that that's just, like... That's just where the Prime Minister lives. So, which I suppose might be closer to Parliament than knowing where Westminster Abbey is. But, son of a bitch. All right, I give up. Here, we're in Jolly London Town, and this, we're going to say that it's 1945, is protesting the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It's 1959? Okay. Also, they were in Trafalgar Square. Fine enough. Next. Man, if I was a person who recognized fellas, this would be easy. But since I'm not, what do we got here? This appears to be Ohio. Appears to be a reasonably poorly drawn map of the various counties of the fine state of Ohio. Okay. Either that or it's a truly terrible map of the United States. Like, you got your Texas here, and... No. I kind of... No, this is probably Ohio. Okay. That's not Thomas Edison, is it? No, that's horrendously wrong. He was from New Jersey, and also didn't look like that. All right. Let's see here. We got... Dude sitting at a desk writing on a thing. Okay. Very old-timey telephone. No number on the photograph, which is unfortunate. All right. Yeah, we are somewhere in the great state of Ohio in 19... Dickety 6? I got no clue, dude. All right, let's go to Ohio. I don't suppose you put a "We Are Here" pin on your map of Ohio, did you, buddy? No? All right, fine. Yeah, you can see right here, like that. That is supposed to be sort of a representation of... It could be South Carolina. Hold on. Could that be South Carolina? No. No, that's much closer to an Ohio. All right. Well, fuck it. We are in Columbus, Ohio in 1987. Obviously. Perfectly. We are, in fact, in Oxford, Ohio. Gotcha. That was 1900. All right. I'll take your word for it, time guesser. Not a terribly good performance today, it must be said. There was a lot of large geographical differences and time fuckeries, and yeah, 26,558 is a bad score, it must be said. Oh well. For today's Immaculate Grid, we need Red Sox, White Sox, Rangers, Orioles, dudes what played first base, and dudes what was born outside the 50 United States and D.C. A dude who played first base for the Boston Red Sox is... I don't think they ever put Willie Mo Pena there in a game. I think I've tried Willie Mo Pena as a first baseman for the Red Sox in the Immaculate Grid before and been told that that was wrong. I remember that after the Red Sox traded for Willie Mo Pena, they tried him at first base, and it was a horrendous disaster. And I don't think they ever did that in a game. So, I remember there were occasions where they would try Jason Varitek at first base. I don't think that ever happened, but I do know that Doug Mirabelli played first base once for the Red Sox. Doug Mirabelli, backup catcher who had a random small sample size MVP caliber season, except nobody noticed because he was still the backup catcher who only really caught Tim Wakefield in 2004. Go look up 2004 Doug Mirabelli someday. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it right now for your edification. Doug Mirabelli, 2004. If I can actually type, that would help a lot. 2004 Doug Mirabelli had an 893 OPS. 124 OPS plus for Doug Mirabelli. 2004. He played in 60 games. He very consistently played, 57, 62, 59 games. 62 games in 59 games in 2004. Doug Mirabelli had an 893 OPS. All right. A dude who played first base and was born outside the 50 U.S. states and D.C. is David Ortiz. A dude who played first base for the Chicago White Sox is, sadly, I don't think I can pull a Doug Mirabelli level deep cut. I think we might just have to go with, I think they played Gavin Sheets there one time. I think they tried a great number of places with Gavin Sheets, and it never took any of them. But well, it's because Gavin Sheets is bad. But Gavin Sheets, a dude who played first base for not for the San Diego Padres, for the Chicago White Sox. Incidentally, Gavin Sheets has a 114 OPS plus this year for the Padres. Ha 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 ha. The White Sox. Oh, God. A dude who was born outside the 50 U.S. states and D.C. and played for the Baltimore Orioles is Miguel Tejada. I was going to say Mark Hendrickson there, but I had a passing thought that he was Canadian, and I'm not certain of that. So let's not go crazy with it, shall we? Dude who played for the Texas Rangers and was born outside the 50 U.S. states and D.C. is Koji Uehara. I believe he was a Ranger in addition to being actually, you know what? Let's just put him in here as an Oriole and a Red Sox. Koji Uehara. There we go. Dude who played for the White Sox and the Orioles is Albert Bell. I think Albert Bell satisfies the qualifications of that square. We could have also gone, of course, with James Howard Thom. Go there entirely too often. Oh, God. Let us now name Some Texas Rangers. All right. Texas Ranger who played for the Boston Red Sox is Mike Stanton. Yeah, Mike Stanton, the relief pitcher, was a Ranger, wasn't he? He absolutely was. Texas Ranger who was born outside the 50 states and D.C. I think Rafael Palmeiro's from Puerto Rico, isn't he? That seems like a thing that would be correct. Let's go for it. Why not? I was correct. Good for me. Now, sadly, we must name a dude who was a Ranger and played for the White Sox. So this could take some time. Let's see here. Well, Frank Thomas played for the White Sox. He was never a Ranger. Jim Thome played for the White Sox. He was never a Ranger. Josh Hamilton was a Ranger, but never played for the White Sox. Robin Ventura played for the White Sox, but not the Rangers. Nolan Ryan played for the Rangers, and I don't think he played for the White Sox. Jason Beret played for the White Sox. Now I'm just naming the White Sox from World Series Baseball 95 for the Sega Genesis. Good game if you're 8-year-old to the _ Goog in 1995. Joey Cora played for the White Sox, but not the Rangers. Ron Karkovice played for the White Sox, and I don't think he played for the Rangers. Jack McDowell, Wilson Alvarez, Roberto Hernandez? I could visualize Roberto Hernandez in a Rangers uniform. Then again, I could visualize anything. You can just, you speak words out into the universe and have them be extant thoughts in your head for a moment. I think Roberto Hernandez played for the Rangers. Going to be very annoyed at myself if I blow an actually immaculate grid with several remarkably deep cuts on mid-1990s Chicago White Sox closer Roberto Hernandez. Boy. Mike Myers, the submarining lefty reliever who was also on the 2004 Red Sox. I know he played for the Rangers. I think he played for the White Sox. I don't know about that one. That feels a little dicey. I fully expect Samurai Sam in the comments of this YouTube video to be like, yeah, Goog, you were absolutely right about Mike Myers, and for that matter, Ron Karkovice. But, I'm sorry, that's a horrendous Samurai Sam voice. That's very mean. I didn't mean for that to sound so mean. Oh, God. All right. Fuck. Damn it. Such good, powerful commentary is why people keep coming back to this show after all these years. Oh, let's see here. Wilson Alvarez played for the White Sox. I'm not certain that he played for the Rangers. Nathan Eovaldi plays for the Rangers. Max Scherzer. Kyle Seager. Is it Kyle Seager? I think it's Corey Seager. Corey Seager. Corey Seager plays for the Rangers. Kyle Seager played for the Mariners. And may or may not still be in baseball. Neither of them played for the White Sox. Is the problem. Billy Hamilton, the modern speedy guy, played for the White Sox. Billy Hamilton, the dead ball outfielder, played before the Rangers existed. So, I think the Texas Rangers claim the history of one of the teams that was called the Washington Senators. So they might have a lineage that dates back well into the early days of Major League Baseball, even though the Rangers, like the Texas Rangers, only became a thing in like the 60s. But, I think that's correct. I think the Washington Senators moved to Arlington and became the Texas Rangers. Which is silly. If you move cities and change the name, you can't keep the history. Like it's one thing with like the Athletics Because, like, they were the Kansas City Athletics. I think they were the Philadelphia Athletics first. But they were the Philadelphia Athletics, and then they were the Kansas City Athletics, and then they were the Oakland Athletics, and now they're the Athletics. They at least are the Athletics. There's a history there. There's a lineage. You can follow that. If you take the fucking Houston Oilers and you move them to Tennessee and call them the Titans, you don't get to claim the history of the Houston Oilers. You either call yourselves the Tennessee Oilers, a name that makes absolutely no fucking sense, or you do the thing that you should do and leave the history of the Oilers in Houston for someone else to pick up. Stupid Titans. And Tennessee Titans are a new thing. When the Cleveland Browns came back into existence after having been moved to Baltimore and becoming the Ravens and the NFL were like, hey, you know what? I know that by established rule, the Ravens have claim to all of this lineage. That's stupid. Y'all are the Browns. You get it back. You should just do that. That should just be the rule. The history stays in the city unless they keep the name. If the Boston Red Sox move to Montreal, the Montreal Red Sox can claim all of the history of Boston. If they call themselves the Brown Hats, he says, looking at Gavin Sheets and desperately trying to come up with a team name. If they become the Montreal Brown Hats, they're a new thing. Is this vamping to cover up the fact that I can't think of a goddamn dude who played for the White Sox and Rangers entertaining at all? Yeah, I don't think so either. So we're gonna go with Mike Myers. I'm like, I think I'm about 55% on both of these, but we're going with Mike Myers. Mike Myers, incorrect. God. Oh, I'm actually gonna keep guessing. I'm gonna keep guessing for once, just to see. Was it Roberto Hernandez? It was not Roberto Hernandez. Okay. I would have been wrong no matter what. Yay. Sadness and failure. All right. What about Ron Karkovice? Would Ron Karkovice have fit? No. Incorrect. Okay. Oh, guy who was on the Yankees, in addition to these other teams. Javier Vazquez. Yeah. No. Ramon Vazquez, crappy middle infielder for the Red Sox one time. Nope. Armando Vazquez, dude I've never heard of who played in the 40s. Christian Vazquez, successful, multi-talented backup catching type. Man, I don't know. No thanks. God. Sammy Sosa. Sammy Sosa played for the White Sox. Sammy Sosa played for the Rangers? When the hell did Sammy Sosa play for the Rangers? Okay. Let's look at all 150 dudes. We'll do this quickly. I promise this is the last thing. All 150 dudes who played for the White Sox and the Rangers. Oh, Elvis Andrus. Okay. All right, I feel bad about Elvis Andrus. I should get more into the habit of guessing Julio Franco for guys I don't know. Ruben Sierra, I've heard of. All right, fine. What about dudes who are primarily White Sox and also played for the Rangers? See, Mini Mignoso here. You played for the White Sox and you were excellent and great. The fuck are you? The Texas Rangers didn't exist in 1963. Screw off with that. Harold Baines. Harold Baines played for the Rangers? Okay. Oh, AJ Pierzynski. Okay. All right. There are dudes on this list I've heard of. They are not dudes that I named. Sadness and failure for me, _Goog. Folks, that is going to do it for us here today on Good Morning Mini Motorways. The plan, the hope, is that we have pretty much a full and complete stream schedule this very week. If I can actually pull the graphic up here, that would be, helpful. There we go. So the plan is that we have a full and complete stream schedule with just an early start on Thursday, because I do have to be in Connecticut at like 9 o'clock Thursday morning. But, we've seen how these things tend to go. I can make no guarantees as always. I intend to be back tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock Eastern for another edition of Good Morning Mini Motorways. Until then, thank you all so very much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and this is the end screen. Bye.